Hello everybody, my name is Everspace. This is Everspace. This is a video on how to play the game. If you're planning on picking up Everspace 2, here I'll explain some of the concepts of the game that might be a little bit more difficult to grasp at first glance, and just some quick tips and tricks that could alleviate your journey in the game. So just a quick summary of how Everspace 2 works. It's a single player space sim, in my opinion one of the best single player space sims that exists right now, and it is really great in that it's got a really big open world. After you've completed the single player campaign, there's a continued open world that you can continue to do side quests and missioning and do other things in. But the main focus of the story takes about 70 to 80 or maybe 50 to 60 hours depending on how good you are to complete. How I'm going to do here is I'm just going to launch into space and start explaining to you some concepts that can be pretty good for you to know, because you'll get the basic controls explained to you in the tutorial, so that's nothing really that I think that is necessary to explain here. But just in general, how do the ships work in the game here? You've got different types of equipment on your ship. The main if you just press the inventory button, so you go on inventory. So this is your whole loadout for your ship. All ships have loadouts like this. It can change slightly from ship to ship, but it pretty much works the same. All ships have primary weapons, which are these three here. I've got, in this ship in particular, it has three primary weapons. It's got flak, railgun, and decimate. You can see here it says there's like a 1. There's like autocannon 1, railgun, 1 flak. And then here you can see missile launcher, 2 missile launcher, 2 missile launcher. These are the secondary weapons. In short, you can say that all missiles are usually the secondary weapons and other types of guns are usually the primary weapons. And then there's just two types of weapons you have. So when you're here flying around, I'm shooting here with my primary weapon. I can scroll through my primary weapons, different types of primary weapons, and then I press the other button and then shoot with my secondary weapons. I've got different types of secondary weapons. I've got a cruise missile even here, but I don't want to shoot that because the ammunition is quite expensive here, so I don't want to waste that necessarily. But we've got different types of primary weapons, different types of secondary weapons. It varies from ship to ship. Some ships will have a lot of secondary weapons, some will have a lot of primary weapons, some maybe have hardly any weapons at all. Depends from ship to ship, so this is very variable. In my particular ship, we've got 3 primary and 2 secondary weapons. Then when it comes to these other systems here, these are different modules that affect the stats of your ship. All ships come with an energy core. An energy core affects basically how well you're able to power different functions on your ship. A lot has to do with weapons, but then also your shields and boost. So how long you're able to boost, how much you're able to recharge your shields, and how much you're able to shoot with your weapons. Just gives you basic, bonuses to your power. Well, you can see this is see here. Do you see that bar on the right of my crosshair? You can see it reduces. That recharge rate is affected by how good my power core is. Then there's another module here called the shield generator, and this affects how good your shield is. Everspace has its HP system working, that you've got shields, armor, and then hull. And if you look at the top left, you can see blue, yellow, and red. So blue is the shields, first line of defense. You see if I just bump into this rock here, you took a bit of shield damage, and then eventually I'll take armor, and then I'll take structure damage. So the shield module here affects how good your shield is, how big it is, how fast it regenerates, etc. Then we've got armor here, plating. This affects how good your armor is. And armor actually is a particular unique aspect here, in that often you can get a repair per kill. So when you kill something, you get a bit of regeneration of your armor. Otherwise, it doesn't regenerate. Your shields always regenerate. So armor is the second line of defense. And then you've got a sensor here, which is then affects basically how far you can see objects. Like you can see, I can see this freelance carrier, and then I can see certain objects on the menu app. Like you can see, I can see over there some iron ore, but it affects how easy it is for you to see items on your HUD. And then the booster affects how good your boosters is. So you've got a boost function. You can boost here. Affects how good this works. And then we've got the cargo unit, which affects how much cargo space we have, and we've got different slots here, and these all just slots to carry cargo items. I've got very little cargo here, just one mainframe component in my cargo items. These modules here, you can see the power core, shield, armor, all these are the same. This layout is the same, so you've got 1 per ship. The primary, secondary weapons can vary, but also these modules here can vary as well. These are consumables. Consumables are items that you can consume, and then they give you buffs. I've only got 1 currently. This is a damage limiter. When I consume this, I have reduction of damage for 30% for 20 seconds. So different buffs you can consume here, and then you have to get a new one to be able to use it again. It's not a regenerative function you've got here. One thing to just keep in mind that I forgot to mention about weapons is that the primary weapons, they have unlimited ammunition. Secondary weapons, they have limited amounts of ammunition. You can see here, 5 out of 5, 26 out of 26. Okay, let's go over to the right part of this menu here. We've got different stats. Stats can be acquired by getting these mainframe components. Get more of these. You can upgrade your stats by pressing the plus here. And these just affect stats in the ship, firepower. You can just read what it says here. You get extra kinetic and energy damage, critical hit chance, hull HP bonus, expertise boost speed, resistance, utility, cooldowns, and then device kinetic damage. Device bonuses, cooldown bonuses. All these are just basic buffs you can have that you can increase by collecting these mainframe components. You've got ship stats here. These vary from ship to ship. This is a special, the special attribute of our ship. And basically we get better weapon damage the closer we are. The different types of ships. We've got a striker right now, and a striker usually has this kind of bonus here where it gets bonuses to close combat encounters. So if you use something like an interceptor or a sentinel, you'll have a different type of special. Ult is also unique to your ship. You have a certain ultimate ability which you charge by destroying more enemies, doing more damage to objects. Then you get this bar up here. You see this yellow icon here? My ult is currently active, so it's glowing there on the top left, but this box, this diamond here, this fills up, and then you're able to use your ult, and it gives you really good buffs. Depends from ship to ship, but it's a really good ability. In this case, I get into like a tether anchor and connect to 5 surrounding enemies, and then they take tons of damage. We've got passives here as well, which I think most of them are the same, but here we can grab and throw drones, and with enemies within 300 meters cannot regenerate shields. These are just passives that often are the same, but I think it also varies from ship to ship. Then you've got shield, armor, and hull. So you can see our ship is a bit of a shield tank ship. And then handling affects how nimble we are, speed, and track to beam range. And then this is just a summary here of our ship slots. So we can see here we've got 3 primary weapons, 2 secondary weapons, and then we've got 3 consumables, and then we've got 3 devices. And we'll go over to what devices are because you can't see them here actually. And then you've got 34 cargo. So we're going to our ship. These are devices. All ships have devices, and you can upgrade these by going into like this one, say here, and then you click on F to upgrade. And then you use these like device upgrade points that you can accumulate when you're playing the game. These are abilities. They have recharge times. So I've got then 3 devices. You can see here, Temporal Nano Recompensator. This is a device that regenerates my armor. If I take damage, I can click it and then I regenerate armor. Energize Boost. This is another device. When I use this, I get a boost. You can see here, if I go here, go very fast. These you can collect throughout the world, use them, put them around, mix and match on your ships, and you can upgrade them as well to make them even more powerful than they are. My third device is a teleporter here. You can get lots of different devices. Some ships only have I think 1 or 2 devices. Some have more. My ship is a little bit better ship than the first one you have, so I think I can have 3 devices. I don't think all ships can have 3 devices. That's devices. Otherwise, that is the main aspect of ship customization and how you upgrade your ship. I think it was a little bit difficult to understand at first, but it is not actually that difficult. We've got also a way to customize your ship's appearance, which you could just explore there. There's nothing really so different to that, but there's nothing really crazy about that. But ship customization in Everspace is really cool because you can change how the color of your ship, the appearance of your ship, the modules on your ship, but this completely doesn't affect how your stats are. It just affects the aesthetic appearance, and no effect on stats at all. Keep that in mind. Perks is something that you can do. I'm a bit lazy in upgrading these because they require quite a bit of effort to upgrade them, but these are basically ways to get certain buffs in certain aspects of the game. For example, you'll encounter multiple friends and allies throughout your single player campaign. So for example, this guy Terene here, and then they have certain upgrades you can do. in the case of Terrain, he has a ship dealer. So I can give him modules, so I can like collect particle modulators, pure insidium, like I can collect these items throughout the world, give them to him, and then I can get like a bonus. There's an alternative set of passives for each ship, so I get more like passives which I can use. You see here, if we go on here, then we go on this passive, so we can get like alternative passives. So we can get some various different upgrades. You same person, we can go with Ben here. You can get different types of attractive bonuses, etc. when you hand in items. Just a different way to get buffs in exchange for items here. So that's ships explained. Another concept I thought that was a little bit difficult to understand is crafting. What point does crafting have in Everspace? Well, in Everspace, you then have the crafting system as a way to mainly temporarily upgrade your items, keep them slightly more useful for a slightly longer amount of time, but they're not made to replace like the looting aspect and buying module aspect of this game. Crafting is a way that, say I get a really good gun or really good cruise missile, I like its cruise missile here. If it's level 19, I get it at level 19, I can upgrade it extra level, and I can also increase it another rarity. So if we go here into the crafting items, I can modify, and I can go on the secondary weapon and cruise missile. I can increase level, and then I can modify. And then this will increase the level. And then you can see here, you can only increase level once, so you can't do this multiple times. You can't like keep upgrading the same weapon. You have to get a new one. But it's a way to just make it slightly better. And what is meant then by level 19 and level 20 item to begin with? Well, all the items in the game, they're different levels. They require you to have a certain in-game level to be able to use. In my case, I'm level 24. So I'm able to use any item that's level 24 or lower. And the higher level something is, the higher stat scale. So just by upgrading this from level 19 to level 20 will make the weapon function slightly better. It will have slightly more damage, slightly better stats, just ever so slightly by increasing the level. So that's a very useful aspect of crafting, where you can upgrade, or a very big aspect of crafting is that you can just temporarily upgrade items. Another aspect you can upgrade with items is, apart from the level, is the rarity, and rarity is the color. So we've got superior rarity here, the red one, then we've got prototype and rare rarity here, which is the blue one. And these are just basically types of tiers of modules which add more stats to your you could say to your weapons or to your modules. So generally speaking, superior items are all at the same level. That is, at the same level, superior items like a level 19 and level 19 a weapon, the superior versus rare, the superior one is always going to be better, and all the stats are going to be better. This you can see here. It's hard to compare these two weapons because they're very different types of weapons, but I got two weapons here, and I tried to always keep my modules as high rarity as possible. These devices here, or these temporary consumables here, they don't have any rarities to them, or like rarities that you can affect. But I always try to keep my rarities as high as possible, and I find it very difficult to get anything better than superior right now in my tier of the game. But sometimes you'll feel it's like it's hard to get anything higher than blue, and lower than blue is green, and lower than green is grey. So you can keep upgrading these rarities, but you can only upgrade them once with crafting. It's exactly the same way. I go modify here, go into calibrated decimator, for example, and if I increase rarity, and then you see here, I just increase rarity. And then there's other aspects. You can have like remove level restriction, install these catalysts which give extra buffs here. So there's the basic function of crafting is to increase rarity and level of the items, but you can also do some other aspects of it as well. You can craft certain items as well if you acquire the blueprints to them. I have not really done that much. I have felt it to be a little bit too complex for me to bother doing. But you can craft certain items, like say superior flak. We can craft it here. We just craft here, and it didn't seem to be superior here. We got a rare one, and we can accept this. It seems to be blue, and then I don't think, because if we were selected rare here, that's why we're able to do it. We can't seem to. We don't have enough star charge circuits. We can craft weapons here. And it's completely random when you select it here in this rarity. But if you look at the blueprints, you can select a specific type. Like I got flak here. And when you've got the items, say I've got this level 24 flak. Now this is interesting. So I got this one here. But I've got a red to a level 22 flak. So it's like, okay, this is a lower level but higher rarity. Let's see. Let's compare them. So I get more kinetic DPS, more energy DPS. Only thing is this consumes a bit more energy consumption. Then what I do is the stats seem to overall be better in this rare one. The thing I always like to check is the passives it gives. 10% chance to regenerate 20% of hull points for each kill. Cannot be damaged. And these buffs seem to be really good. 10% kinetic energy bypass the shields. We've got lots of, these are really good passives. You can see that this ship has like 30% increased damage against units with higher level D. I like that a lot more. So instead, what I do is, if I find an item that I don't like, or I don't have any use for it, because I've already got a flak that's better, and what am I going to do with 2 flaks? Then I can either dismantle it with clicking N, and this makes so you can acquire more of those pieces that you can use to continue crafting other items. You can also just sell it. Do what you want. Sometimes if I'm saving up for a new ship, I'll try to sell everything. But ideally, what I try to do is every item that has the highest rarity, like say the blue rarity, since I've got mostly blue and red items, I'll then salvage this because I'll get the components that I needed to require to craft these red items. If I get like a really low tier one, like green or grey, if I salvage it, I'll get very bad materials, and that is not going to be used for the high tier ones, these blue and red ones. So instead, what I'll do is I'll just sell it. So generally speaking, my tip would be is try to always salvage any item that you've not got use of, and that is as high, like the same rarity as you've got. Then I would salvage it instead of selling it, because those components can be useful later. Another explanation of why I think that's important is that we can go here. Say this calibrated decimator. If I want to increase the rarity, I need star charge circuits. How do I get star charge circuits? I need to get this by salvaging red items. I get the quantum processors by salvaging blue items, power coupling by salvaging green items. So it's favorable to salvage the higher tier items or higher rarity items because you get those components that you can use to upgrade your items even better. So as high as possible, the high tier ones salvage, the lower tier ones I sell them. I use extra credits. So that's how crafting works. Apologize if that was a bit messy. I think crafting is a bit messy, but in short, it can be used to modify mainly. In short, I mainly use it when I'm playing to modify my items just to get extra level, 1 higher level, or to get 1 higher rarity. And I always salvage the highest tier of modules I've got, and the in relation to what kind of equipment I've got. So if I've got blue items, I'll salvage the blue and green items. If I've got red items, I'll salvage like maybe the red and blue items, and everything else I'll sell. So that's crafting. And then how does the universe function in Everspace 2? Well, you've got different aspects of travel. One is sublight, so you're going around normal, which is moving around. We can use our boost. Our standard boost that can move around faster. Then we've also got our extra fast cruise drive, which we can use to go even faster within an area. Then you can just use the hyperdrive or warp drive, whatever you want to call it, that can go a lot faster. And when you're in this mode, then you're able to go inside the star system, and you're going to be able to go between planets and different objects like a station or planet. You can go very fast. So say I want to go to this planet over here, because I'm in the Drake system. You can say I'm in the Drake system. And then I go and set waypoint. And then I can go here to this planet here. And I press F and I just travel to it. And eventually I'll get there. Now, if I want to go really far away, the way the universe is divided is that we've got star systems. So I'm in the Drake star system. But there are multiple star systems. And this is sort of like the biggest or like most zoomed out magnification you can have in this game. So there are different star systems. And to get to different star systems, we'll need to go to certain celestials or certain objects that have a warp gate. So if we look here, we can see there's like a line here that goes to the Union system from the Drake system. Then I'd want to go to Galliano Gate. I'd go here, and then I would warp drive or warp to the Galliano Gate. And I'll eventually get there. There's a warp gate there. I press F on the warp gate, and I go to the next system. So that's how the map works in Everspace 2. You've got systems, and then you warp inside a system with this cruise drive, hyper drive, and then you can go with the warp gates to different star systems. A tip when it comes to the campaign is that I think is very important for you to know when you're playing. When you are in the campaign, you are going to be then playing this main single player campaign in the beginning that has got like a main story, and in the main story there's going to be side quests that are sort of linked to the main story but not necessary to progress in the main story. The side quest will be blue markers on your map. I don't have any now because I've actually completed the entire main story, but the main story markers are going to be yellow, and then the side quests are going to be blue. And I would strongly recommend to do as many side quests as you can do when you're playing the story, so that you are the necessary level to take on the NPCs that you're fighting against. Because this was something that I didn't realize when I started playing. When I started playing, I just did the main quest. I just didn't care about the side quests. And what happened? Well, I started to realize, what the heck? I'm getting like one-shotted by these NPCs. I don't even know why. And then I realized it was just because the NPCs, as you progress through the main story, they level up a lot. They become higher, like in mission 5, they become like level 8, or mission 10, they become like mission level something. And my ship or my character wasn't leveled high enough to keep up with them. So I was facing like level 14 enemies when I was level 7 or something like that. And that makes me absolutely shattered, because levels in Everspace 2 correlate a lot with how good you are, because they allow you, as we discussed before, they allow you to have better items that are high level, that give better stats. They also just give you a straight bonus to how powerful your ship is, I believe. I don't know if that is the case, but I know that certain levels just give you straight up bonuses to your character. So overall, a lower level player is going to be a lot weaker than a high level player. Even with pretty crap gear, they're just overall going to be a lot worse. So that's why the side quests are very important to be able to level up. So I don't mean you have to mandatorily do all the side quests. When you're doing the main story, you can just do enough side quests so that you are at the same level of the NPCs that you're fighting against, or maybe one level below. Then it's alright. Just don't do like what I did and just rush the main story and be level 7 when you're fighting level 14 NPCs. Then you're going to get one shot, and I was like, what the heck is wrong with this game? I can't even play this game properly. I'm just getting one shot all the time. So you can see here, these guys level 20 and 24, so like I'll go here and I'll wreck them like as if it's nothing. Really easy. Like I don't even care, because this is what levels do, and you become so much better than them. And in a way, it takes a bit of the fun out of it, but I also like to be able to wreck people with ease like this. But then if we fight someone who is very high level, then it's going to be a different story. But I was talking about warp gates before. If we go here, you can see this is the warp gate here. This is a special kind of warp gate. That is a very small one, but there are also ones that are bigger. You can see in Everspace there is mining. And mining is a pretty simple concept. It is a way to get resources that can be used for a lot to do actually with these perks that I talked about before. When we talk to these people here, getting upgrades, a lot of the items they can request are actually mineable items, like these Culver crystals. Some of the mining items can be used for crafting as well, but I mainly use it for those kind of perks, for the items to get those buffs that they give. So that's Everspace 2, a little guide, an explanation of the various concepts and some tips you can have in this game. I don't want to talk too much about the story because I don't want to spoil anything, but in short, crafting can be used to temporarily upgrade your items. Your different types of slot layouts depend on your ships you can buy, and you've got different types of stats. Everything revolves around increasing your stats, making it a lot better, whether it comes to the level of your items, the item's rarity, the bonuses here, and you've got different types of passives and abilities you've got here. Another thing that I think is important is that you make sure that you do side quests, that you don't underlevel, so that you're able to get through the story and not have to get absolutely wrecked and wonder what is going on. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, hope you learned something new, That's Everspace 2. The concepts explained. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.